the link around.
Greetings. Welcome. It's Friday. It's my favorite time. Is it yours? I think it's rapidly becoming so. One thing that we have to do is when it starts going, you know me, I always have to make sure this isn't blow. Okay, I am on mute over there, so we're good. We're good. Oh my goodness, what is the date today, guys? It is Friday, November 12th. So, Christmas is right around the corner. We might even talk about that a little bit today. We have some special announcements, but I want to let you, first of all, I am Uncle V, your favorite uncle, and this is the Uncle Vigilante Show. So welcome. We're here every Friday to talk about our favorite subject, Epic Cash and the Epic ecosystem and all that goes in it. And I have with me, you can't see him, but he's there, trust me, Epic Cash founder, Max Freeman. We have our favorite person, man, I was going to say our favorite person on the West Coast, who I think is going to be on the East Coast pretty soon, and we're really happy about that. Yoga Dude is on here with us. And of course, L. McMurphy, which many of us know as Enrique, is here. And returning guest, Mike Mamola, who is, if you've seen this show before, you've met him, has a little bit of background in being a 30-year lawyer and having a successful business. So he sees the world through a different set of eyes and has different filters, and has become very, very bullish and favorable to Epic Cash. So we'll talk to Mike about that a little bit too. So we're going to get right into it. Let's go to Enrique. Enrique, as we always do, we start with a financial update on Epic Cash versus the top 15 coins. You wanted me to show this chart first, so let me do that.
Yes.
And take it away.
All right, so this is how it works. Every Friday, I take a snapshot of the prices of the top 15 cryptocurrencies and Epic Cash. This takes place at 11:15 a.m. Eastern time. So what this consists of is that I've been measuring the performance of Epic Cash versus the top 15 coins by market cap since September 3rd of this year. And every week we take a snapshot, and this is essentially what you're looking at right now is a representation of how the portfolios have performed. $1,000 invested in Epic Cash, and that is represented by the blue line. So as you can see, it's gone up, quite a bit. It almost reached 10,000, and it's currently at $8,000. What $1,000 invested on that date would be today. And the green line represents the average of the top 15 cryptocurrencies. So if we can switch to the chart.
Yes, sir.
To the table.
Let me stop share, and we'll pivot over here to, I don't know if anyone else has a Bluetooth mouse, but sometimes mine disappears on me, but here we go. Okay.
So what you saw on the chart is Epic and the yellow line at the bottom, which is the average of all of the performance of each coin. So as you can see, Epic on September 30 was 32 cents. With $1,000, you could have bought 3,125 coins. And at today's price, which was $2.61 at the time of the snapshot, your portfolio would be worth $8,156. And that is equal to an unrealized profit of $7,156, or 715%. And the rest of the market, as you can see, Solana is up 57%, Luna 45%, BTC is doing well, it's up 28%, but it pales in comparison to what Epic Cash has done. And so, if you had one Bitcoin invested in Epic Cash, you would already have about 7.1 additional Bitcoins. So this is a table to just demonstrate how Epic has outperformed the rest and how it will likely continue to do so as this trend is expected to continue.
Hey, Max Freeman, are you in the house?
Yes, sir.
Did you know layers are cool? Have you checked it out?
Yeah, so instead of condescending to us, if he checked out Epic and put his lot in with us to the tune of one of those precious BTC that those guys love so much, then he would have 8.1 BTC. So he has probably still the one that he had, and taking that approach has, in a way, cost him 7.1 BTC already. And over time, we will see that blind spot, it ends up being very expensive for those gentlemen, is my thinking.
Right, and that's like a whole lot of microwave burritos, right? I'm just checking. Okay, sorry.
Good morning, yoga.
Are those pumped full of estrogen or what?
Okay, I'll stop right there. Sorry.
Well, yoga, while you have you, Enrique, thank you. That was excellent. And every Friday, we're going to give the same update. And it's looking pretty good if you're an Epic Cash holder. And
Sure.
I'm anticipating that chart over the next 5 weeks is going to start to look pretty silly, and we'll unpack why. But before we do that, yoga, I know we recently had the halving. And could you just touch on what that means to a lot of newbies that might be coming to the show?
Actually, the funny thing about that is that a lot of the non-newbies are still kind of realizing that the halving has happened. You know, we have some folks that kind of come in and go out, and you know, I keep having conversations with miners saying like, "Hey, it's still profitable, but what's going on?" Yeah, so the block reward has been cut in half. The difficulty has, you know, like tripled because there's so many new miners, so many new community people, you know, joining the project. And the scarcity is kicking in. I mean, the scarcity effect is, you know, is an effect. And it's sooner or later translates into the price. But what I'm seeing right now is really just some inertia where people are just now beginning to realize like, oh my God, there is half as much Epic is entering the market, and there are so many more people interested in buying it, and there's so many more people that are mining it. You know, so yeah, so the halving is continuing to, you know, to play out in as the information propagates. And again, to a lot of people who are not in the mining world, just to understand that there's a lot of people that just mine coin. It's like the coin du jour, okay?
Mhm.
And they're not really discriminate about it. They plug it into a calculator and they see like what yields them the best result for that day, and then they dump at the end of the day or at the end of 3 days or whatever to pay their bills. A lot of these guys are in like in Russia. A lot of these guys are in China. You know, and they're not really loyal to any coin at all. But what they are good for is they're generating a lot of those coins for the rest of us, you know, for the rest of the people. I shouldn't say the rest of us because I'm also a miner, but for the rest of the market, you know, for the rest of the folks out there. You know, so they provide a service and they validate transactions, and they're part of the proof of work, you know, network. They provide security to the network, et cetera, et cetera. So they earn their keep, if you will. But what they're beginning to realize is that the scarcity is kicking in. You know, they're
Okay, so for us uninitiated who are new to the game, can you please help explain scarcity and what halving does to it and how that just impacts everything? Because it does go over some of our heads.
So instead of, you know, 11,000 coins plus coming into the market every day through mining, now it's half of that. It's like 5,007 something. Okay. I mean, that's literally it. So the demand is going up, the supply is going down, and at some point it translates into the price. So if you wanted to buy Epic today, it's much harder than it was before. And the reason we're doing that is because we're ideologically compatible with Bitcoin as far as the emission schedule. You know, we are matching Bitcoin's emission, and we're kind of catching up with Bitcoin to a point of singularity where we'll actually match their emission schedule, you know, until we reach 21 million. Keep in mind, in the entire existence of Epic Cash, there's only going to be 21 million Epics minted, if you will. And that's what gives it its value. It's not like the Federal Reserve, you know, nobody can crank more Epic Cash. That's
So
the
do halvings piss miners off?
not really, because the value, especially for the ones that are holding, but the value of the coin eventually goes up, so it's really to piss anybody off is really kind of hard to say, because if there was no scarcity, then there would be no value increase. If something is just, well, like with federal, like with with a money printer going burr, it's the opposite of that effect. So it devalues the currency. With halvings, it actually introduces a scarcity element into it, so it actually makes it more valuable, more scarce. So literally, with half coming into the market, it seems that's pretty obvious. I mean, you don't have to be a math wizard to kind of visualize that. It got cut in half and the demand is going up. So that's pretty much it. And Enrique's chart is a pretty good indicator, especially considering how red the market is yesterday and today, that Epic is looking pretty darn good. Again, I'm not a Enrique very objectively and honestly takes a snapshot at the same time every week.
Yeah.
So this is a good this is a really good benchmark, but 700% increase since September is pretty gosh darn sexy.
Yes, it is. Now it got up to, I think, an all-time high of 370-ish, I think.
379.
379, almost 380. Now, so the halving then happens. Do miners really, like, to me, in my mind, I would be, as a miner, I would be thinking, okay, after a halving, man, I should hold on for dear life because
so you're assuming that people know this, and you're assuming that a certain level of rationality. Some of them recalibrate, but there's inertia. Okay, it just takes some time for people to just get seriously. We have like OG guys who are like going, did we just have a halving? I mean, seriously, these guys with like massive mining farms are just waking up to it. So if they were dumping their usual load at their usual price, people were gobbling it up. But now they're like beginning to realize, like, well, I can ask for more.
So when we sometimes see like these big kind of red candles and stuff, is that primarily you have miners that are just
like a miner
autopilot and he's just dumping it?
Yeah, at the end of the day, he's just he's dumping his Epic. He's looking at amortized
and a lot of
equipment.
people have it automated,
right? And he's looking at like amortized equipment cost. He might have, if he's in Russia or China, he might have free electricity. So his cost of production of Epic is really inexpensive. So they don't really think in economic terms long term, but they're thinking about like today's day and today's bills.
And there's another aspect of that, like I view it a different way in the trading channel, and even sometimes in the main channel, which, please, everybody, let's keep the discussions in the right place, because there's a lot of new eyes on us, and it's respectful to them if we do that. So a little bit of mindfulness there would be great. But this prevailing ideology of HODL from BTC, I think that's backwards and wrong. The entire basis of wealth and prosperity and trade comes from this concept called the double overlapping coincidence of wants. And if someone is selling, that means that the person who's selling values them less and cares about them less and wants them less and views them as less important for their future by definition than the person who's buying them, or else the trade wouldn't have happened. And whether that's 379 or 3 cents or $3 million, that market equilibrium, like we as a planet and as a community within that get wealthier from that having happened. And so I think, in my mind, when I see somebody selling, I'm like, thank you for your sacrifice, thank you for your service, because for every buyer there must be a seller, and how hard it must be to give it up and then discover that, damn, these coins I sold for 50 cents today are now $5. What, I mean, and then like that must be bad. And so I know a guy that runs a video rendering farm, and he has you can only do GPU 48% of the time. And so when you don't have a job, you're mining, and in the meantime you're rendering and stuff. And the cost of the hosting in a lot of these things, it includes electricity and the OPEX and CAPEX and all that. Like Yoga said, it's amortized whether you're using it or not.
Max is getting a call, and he's going to fix that for next week.
No, No, this one wasn't wasn't a phone call, but I will
you
get
close
that
news?
notification one of these weeks. But
That's a good running gag.
yeah, I lost my train of thought. Help me come back 10 seconds. What was I
Let
talking
me
about?
let me use that as an opportunity to, when we're talking about
To
scarcity,
get a word in edgewise, sure.
when we're talking about scarcity, we're talking about having, then there is another element to it, which is getting more buyers aware. So, Max, do you want to talk about the Bitmart listing
Sure.
and how many eyeballs are going to be new to Epic Cash
Yes.
in the ecosystem?
Yeah, and I remembered what I was talking about, which is that so essentially the computing capacity of this video rendering farm that's very good for ProgPow would be wasted if it wasn't put to use in mining in some way. And Epic simply pays better. But if we didn't pay better in terms of the reward the market was offering for that hash rate, then it would go to some other coin like ETH Classic or Ethereum or Raven or any one of these other GPU mineable coins.
Mm-hmm.
And so like essentially the chain is putting out a budget to guys like that for providing security and transaction processing. And so that's a feature, not a bug, that they're agnostic to what they're mining, because their job is to mine, not to buy and hold, or use.
And I presume,
people.
Yoga, since many of these miners are in China and Russia, they're probably not tuning into Epic Cash Live to get the updates on what's around the corner, right? So they're just
right. And the other small component, and I brought this up before, I don't want to beat it up too much, but I'll do it one more time just for the heck of it. I come across guys still that they bring up like, hey man, I can't believe I was dumping it at 7 cents, when the mining was good before the halving. That was before the halving, in the first era. And then the same guys, the ones that actually took the time to kind of learn about the project and get into it, the guy, one particular guy, he was kind of laughing and crying at the same time that, hey, I remember I was selling off, loads at 7 cents. And then I was FOMOing in at 30 cents. and now I'm just, and like today, if he hasn't sold at, 50 cents or whatever, if he's still holding it at 30 cents, he would be a pretty happy camper, so it is a process of discovery, for sure.
And he's more likely to be a contributor based on that skin in the game. So I'm one of the things that I'm most heartened about is, as evidenced by the physical presence of people like Mr. Mike Mamola, who are providing their time and care and mental energy and commitment and connection, in addition to the financial skin in the game. And so everybody has a different relevance as far as how much money matters. For some people, $1,000 is a lot of money, and for some people it's not. And so at every scale, what we're doing can be relevant. And what I'm finding is that as we attain a little bit more market traction in terms of the value, it becomes worthwhile for people that have a lot of other good alternatives to do with their time to be able to tune into us. Because if you have bills to pay and costs, it doesn't matter how much you like what we're doing. You just need to attend to the practicalities of your life and your budget. And here now people don't have to make that compromise. And so shout out to Boris, who is now working full-time on Freeman U curriculum development. Seapork and Captain Pi are also helping on that. So Free U is going to get a lot better. And that's a great example of the use case, which is Epic Fund Me. Hey, Boris, had a job as a project manager, and now the economy is tight and we have this great resource, who wouldn't have been available without that dislocation. But now if he is, if we can find a way to pass the cup and make the economics work, because there's no way without it, we have a +1 and we're stronger. And so that's a lot of that type of stuff is occurring organically at the atomic level now.
Speaking of Seapork and Captain Pi, tonight, everyone, 7 p.m., we're going to go for a couple hours, and we hope to see you. I'm going to have Seapork on and Captain Pi, and both of them bring way different things to the table, and it is going to be a blast. This is probably going to be one of the most fun interviews tonight. So 7:00 p.m. Hope you show up. Mike, I hate for us to all dominate this, and would love to just hear from you, and maybe you could give a little bit of backstory who you are and what you're doing with Epic Cash and how you're adding energy to this whole equation.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you. You made me, and I appreciate it, but you made me a little older and a little more experienced than I actually am. I've only practiced law for a little over 20 years rather than 30.
I'm sorry. I
Still
thought
just a little bit of experience. Yeah, I've been in the crypto space for about 6 years now, and familiar with a lot of the different projects. Been investing over time, and I was, it's when the student is ready, the teacher arrives kind of thing. And I consider that to be this group and Epic and the project and everything. And, it was fortuitously dropped into my lap by a dear friend. And I began to explore what it was all about. And just like anything else that I get involved in, the 3 T's. So it's the timing, the technology, and the team. That's what I look at in terms of, is this worthy of my time and energy and money, and that all that's important to me. And it was, without breaking down each of those individually and boring everyone, the answer was just this glaring and resounding yes on timing, what's going on in the world. Yes on technology when you start to understand what Epic really is. And yes on the team, just over and over and over, for every member that's a part of this volunteer community, non-toxic, forward-thinking, optimistic, wanting to do all the great things that Epic is doing. So, my value is, like Max said, and others have mentioned, I'm invested. I'm invested in a few different ways in Epic and financially. And I've also brought in some of my knowledge and experience and my network. So what I've been doing is very strategically going out to the people that I know, love, and trust, who I think can make a positive difference in the world. With the help of Epic and introducing them to it. And so far, everyone, and I literally just got back from Web Summit in Portugal. And I met one of the most amazing human beings there, who apparently was involved with Bitcoin back in 2009, 6 weeks after the white paper was released. He was involved in it. And I introduced him to Epic while I was there, and Max doesn't even know this yet, but as we're on this right now, I just got a response from him saying, in short, without going into too much detail, that this project is nothing short of extraordinary. It is quite phenomenal. Please, let's talk soon. So that's what we're doing in the world.
Live here, guys. I just got goosebumps when you said that. That's very cool.
Yeah,
exclusive.
Very cool. That's an exclusive. So that's kind of what I'm doing and how I'm trying to just add wherever I can and however I can some value into this fantastic process.
May I ask you, Mike, when you said
Yes.
that I introduced him to Epic Cash, how did you tee it up? How do you go about explaining Epic Cash to people?
So it depends on who I'm explaining it to. If it's my crypto friends, then I just tell them about it because they already know. And if it's someone who has very little experience with crypto and they say, well, I've heard of Bitcoin, then, kind of take them through what is happening in the world. So it depends on the group, or it depends on the individuals. But it all leads back to the same place that, and this is something that I've said to a number of people now, although I've invested my money over the last 5.5, 6 years now, probably, in various different cryptocurrencies and now NFTs. I've never invested my personal time, energy, name, brand, or network to a coin before this. So, when I say that, for whatever reason, I know that and believe that I have some credibility with the people who I deal with. And so I think that means enough to them. They say, tell me what to do and how to do it.
Well, I can personally attest to everybody watching now and in the future that Mike has brought some pretty amazing, meaningful people to the table to where we're having these fantastic conversations with, which, you really think about a few things that are going to move the needle. And once people start getting the tech, once people really understand the holy trinity between Epic Cash, ECR, and EUSD, once people start we start getting more eyeballs onto this, the smart people are coming out of the woodwork, and they're actually looking at this not to mock, but to actually say, whoa, hold on here. This is interesting. So, Max, I'd like to ask you, if you would, please give us a status update on Bitmart.
With pleasure. So Bitmart has 8 million users, which is 16 million eyeballs, since you asked for that. By way of comparison, Coinbase has 53 million, was the last I looked. I think crypto.com had 8, maybe it's up to 10 plus now probably. So it's definitely, it's not the name you know, but it's a solid name that has the likelihood of continuing to gain market share as it has for quite some time. So they're a top shelf partner, and we feel very comfortable that above all else, they're not going to take any actions that would harm our users. That was the primary consideration in ending up with them after a really exhaustive process. So the status is that the integration of the chain is scheduled for December 18th, and we believe trading is likely in the subsequent days after that, since there's nothing really that would delay it. And Enrique is in touch with them now, and we'll get an updated read on timing. Obviously, if there's anything that can be done to move that forward, we certainly will be pushing for that. There's a lot of great traction on the wrapping solution, but that is more of a, there's only a few weeks now between the 18th. So if we do get anything, it wouldn't be too much. So it's easier to just count on the 18th. So we should all have a pretty good Christmas. And we can also confirm that if you have your Epic on either Bitmart or Vite, that you'll get your ECR. You won't have to do anything.
Well, we're getting over our skis here. We're getting over our skis here. We haven't announced that yet in a kind of fun
okay.
way. So the fact is, on 12/18, we hope that the listing happens, and it should, right? I mean, I can tell.
Integration. Or listing would come a couple days later.
Okay, integration. Thank you.
Let's not get over our skis here. I like that. Yeah.
Will it be Epic Cash that is listed, or ECR, or both?
So Epic will come first.
Okay,
and then,
great.
As soon as we get the opinion letter from the lawyers, which is the blocker there, it will be up very quickly, like within days of that happening. And I should have a fresh status update. It's a holiday over there where those guys are based. And so we'll apply fuel to the fire, some pressure on Monday. So everything's moving in the right direction as fast as it can.
There are those of us who actually love the Vite wallet. I'm one of them. I think it's awesome. Once people get through it, it
works. It's magical.
It works. It's great. It is a great wallet. But I'm delighted that it's going to be on Bitmart, because that's going to be, as Max said, 16 million eyeballs. That's a lot of people. 8 million is a lot of people who are going to be looking at this. And when it's listed, it's it's the law of big numbers, guys. So when you take a look at that, not investment advice, but kind of before that happens, you might want to begin acquiring, and even if you're a miner, just holding your Epic Cash, because we have a very big announcement. Max, you're the leader of the ship and the mastermind of all of this. I would love for you to just let everyone know what's going to happen on Christmas.
So Christmas is the revised snapshot. We are very aware of all the ongoing discussions and sensitivities, and expect further engagement on that. The issue is settled, but not in everyone's minds to their satisfaction, and we really don't want to leave any stone unturned there. So let's leave an asterisk by it. But that is the date where, if you want position in ECR, the way you get that is by owning one Epic. And the reason why ECR might have value to you is, let's say you're sitting on an Epic position and you've done really well. You have, I don't know, I'll just use a round number, 100 grand worth of coins. So let's say without ECR and what that enables, which is EUSD, what you'd have to do is sell your coins and gross that up for taxes, and then use the proceeds to buy whatever you want. So in other words, accessing your purchasing power that is stored in the Epic currency, you have to give up the future appreciation and you have to incur a tax liability. and that increases the effective cost. And so what ECR allows you to do, you can't do this unless you have ECR, and we don't know the ratios yet. That's a common question that comes up. The settings will be determined by governance. That's another thing that gives ECR value that I'll come back to in a second. But let's say you have 100 grand worth of Epic and you want to go buy something. Well, you'll be able to issue yourself, these are the initial settings, up to 50% loan to value as an interest-free self-banking line of credit through EUSD. So you can access your purchasing power in a tax advantaged way, in a number of ways. And so you've essentially got the most powerful financial technology on this planet available in your pocket, and you don't have to trust anybody. You don't have to get permission, and it's censorship resistant and privacy preserving. So it's really ticking all the boxes as far as what we think is needed for the era to come, when all of our money and financial freedoms are being restricted. This is a completely open and frictionless, fluid system.
It is so darn exciting. I hope people don't miss that. It is. The time is now, before all of these great things happen, including a wallet that's going to be coming out, to where you're going to be able to do all of these things within the wallet. We won't get over our skis on that, but just know that that is, the timing might even be kind of interesting by the end of the year. I don't know. We'll see. But I will tell you that the time to acquire Epic Cash is now, because the more Epic Cash that you have on December 25th, you will get a 1-to-1 match of ECR. So if you tell me if I have this right, Max and Yoga, if I have my coins invite, then my ECR is just going to automatically appear. Is that how that works?
Yes, and on Bitmart as well. If Robert would reach out about his Stellar and Pancake Swap situations, we can discuss that, but I can confirm certainly Vite and Bitmart as well. I don't consider that over the skis because that's customary for this type of thing, and hundreds of other people do it, so I don't see why not. So the easy button is to let someone else handle it for you. But of course, if you want to custody your own assets, then we'll make that as easy as possible through the various wallets that are out there.
Okay, so if you're somebody who's way smarter than me, and I literally mean this, because the GI wallets and all of that, it just kind of scares the heck out of me, and I like Vite, so I'm cool until our mobile wallet comes out. But for those who do have it in their non-Vite wallet, how then do they access the ECR? Does that just automatically appear in their wallets, or?
So the way it'll work is you hit a button to generate an address on at least, that's a hint for the eagle-eyed observers, at least WAN-chain, Polygon, and XDAI. There may well be more, but there will be at least those. So you hit a button, it'll generate an address and pre-populate it. And then let's say you have 1,000 coins, but you only want 100 to go there for whatever reason. You just type in 100 or hit the all button, whatever, and then click the button and you're done. So we're trying to integrate it directly in the wallet and not have to copy paste and do all this complicated stuff.
Okay, so the smart guys are going to ultimately know what to do. But for those of us, please, down below, I always leave instructions on how to buy Epic Cash, how to get a Vite multi-chain wallet. Go through that process. You want BTC. You do not want to put ETH or anything else into Vite because the trading pairs sucks or the liquidity sucks. And I'm just telling you, I'm being a good uncle here. Think BTC when you're going to buy Epic. There are ways, if you have coins, that you should get familiar with. It's called godex.io, GODEX.io. That would allow you, for example, in a non-KYC way, to be able to, let's say that you have an ETH and you want to convert it to BTC without going on a KYC exchange and selling and buying and all of that. No, all you have to do is go to godex.io, send it over there, they exchange it, and they send it to your BTC address in your Vite wallet. I've done it so many times. It's so easy, and it's there's something going through that process and seeing it happen on your screen that gives you a few dopamine hits too. And then when it appears in your Vite wallet, then you can transfer it over to the trading floor and let the fun begin. Chomp, chomp, chomp at that red. And
we're
go
up
ahead.
over 1,200 holders on Vite. Not long ago, when I started really tracking it, it was in the 600s. And then when it got to 700, that was a big deal. And so we're up over 1,200. And that's just the people that haven't withdrawn their coins to the local wallet.
Right.
So if you're interested in tracking this, vitescan.io is a good resource for that. And that particular metric, as many others are, is moving in the right direction.
Yeah. So I just want to say it out loud because I just can't hammer it home enough. What I love about this design, Max, that you and the tech team have created is with this holy trinity here of Epic Cash, ECR, and EUSD. To me, I can't imagine why on earth I would ever want to sell an appreciating asset, and now I don't have to. I did have a little bit of an issue before that I was struggling with, knowing that ECR was part of the equation and you had to have it. So I was feeling kind of, we're not talking enough about how people are going to acquire their ECR, how they can go on to these different chains and they can buy it. You can buy it right now. So when the announcement of a snapshot to where it's the easy button that if I have Epic Cash, I am now operationalized with ECR to enter the bank of you, to where now if my $100,000, if I want to borrow 50, I have the way to do that in a tax advantaged way, while it's going to still keep appreciating. I didn't have to sell anything and pay Uncle Sam on that. So while, let's say I did do that 50,000 bucks, my $100,000 worth of coins are locked in a smart contract. So they're not on the market. Do people get that? When coins are not on the market, what happens to the price? Scarcity kicks in. So this encourages more and more and more scarcity as people get this and realize they have to do this. So like I said, or haven't said yet, but I am going to just keep hammering every week. Those of you who get in on the snapshot, just what a blessing. What a blessing. And the reason why 1225 was chosen was we have so many creative memers. We thought, how much fun would it be for fat old Santa Claus to try to be getting his big butt down the chimney, holding a big bag of ECR. And so it's just to be able to have fun with that. But those of you who get the snapshot and are like, ooh, free ECR, I'm going to go sell it. The corner and dunce cap is that way. And we'll help you find it, because that would be the most stupid thing that you could ever do. You now have the gift of ECR that is going to empower the bank of you. So that, to me, is what's going to massively increase adoption, because once that super secret gets out, the aha buttons go off, and we're working on ways with Captain Pie of distilling this down to a simple one-pager so that I understand it, so that we can share it with others, make it really easily accessible and understand it. But the fact is, this is super exciting news. And if I'm you, I'm chomping at that red with invite now, dollar cost averaging in. That's what I'm doing. I have my personal pay period is every 2 months or 2 weeks. Sorry. And so I'm literally just dollar cost averaging in up to the snapshot. And then it will be after that as well, because I don't think there's another better asset in the world that I could invest in. Yoga, I'd love for you to, you're a huge community guy, and you created Epic Fund Me and really have the finger on the pulse of all of the different communities. It is so inviting, this Epic Cash ecosystem. Can you just touch on that a little bit and what people could expect when they come to t.me/epic cash and where they might go after?
Sorry, I kind of drifted after you were praising me and telling me how awesome I was. But so as far as the community, I mean, we got everything for everyone. So people can come into all of our channels depending on their topics of interest. The general channel, the mining channel, all of these things. But as far as participating in the project and getting monetized by the project, Epic Fund Me was created, just for that, to help people get monetized without being arbitraged by third parties. So people present their case to their peers, and they get rewarded. If you're a contributor, if you create content, tell us about yourself. On Epic Fund Me, create some awareness in the Telegram groups that are relevant to that topic. Let's say you're doing memes. Go to the meme group and create, and talk about that. Go to the ambassadors group and talk about that, and say, hey, look guys, I'm doing these amazing memes. I'm doing this. And I would go a lot further if I was getting a little bit of Epic. Maybe I can pay, like YouTube advertising, or some other means of accelerating and increasing, my reach, so people can become influencers, and I don't mean shillers, but educators. I mean, our approach to achieving mass adoption is really focused on education, because the value proposition itself is enough. We don't need, we do not need Elon or some other clown pitching us to the masses. We just need to educate people. That's it. And once people understand the value, I think is really apparent. As soon as people hear about us, they tend to engage, which is really awesome. So that's kind of the purpose of Epic Fund Me. And the thing also with Epic Fund Me, some people, maybe because they've never done anything like this before, they sell themselves short. They do a disservice to themselves by not putting in pictures, by not putting in examples of their work, by not referencing, like dropping some links. We gave people an ability to throw in some images to support their case. We give people ability to throw in some links to support their case. Like, hey, look, I'm a developer, so I'm doing this amazing development thing, for Epic. Here's a link to my GitHub. Here's a snapshot of what my UI looks like. Okay, just give people. I mean, don't assume that everybody knows everything about what you're doing, and is going to go and do, all this due diligence. Like, try and put as much information about what you're doing, about your contribution, up front. We gave enough space within epicfundme.com, for people to really, really showcase themselves. Like, Uncle, you've done a great job, with your presentation there, Crypto Shark, some of our graphic artist guys, have done a really tremendous job. We have some charity projects that we supported. They've done a pretty good job, and we do have some humorous people. We have one guy who's been a longtime community member, who put a thing out there, and he just said, look, give me Epic because I'm French. And well, it reminds me of a guy that It reminds me of a guy that I saw in Berkeley. He said, like, he was sitting on the sidewalk, with a sign that says, "Hey, no sad stories. I just need some weed and beer money." And I respect the honesty, and I give him some money. So
no sad stories.
Right, but if
I paid you back.
Exactly. But to me, it's like, we give people the stage. We give people this opportunity to express themselves. We have, amazing artisan, people in the community. Some of them are, I'm not going to steal your thunder away from this one, but we got some, ambitious young ladies who are really creating some amazing, works of art. By the way, capitalizing on the scarcity concept of limited edition. And I mean, here's an unpacking lesson in economics, and this is the type of community outreach, the type of community use cases, the type of, how Epic empowers people.
And they're non-fungible because she serialized them and gave them numbers and all of those things. The scarcity, the NFT part, non-fungible. Sorry, go ahead.
Right.
They all added value.
Right. And to me, what's really awesome about this is organic. This is peer to peer. There is no third party that collects the money and then decides whether or not you're worthy based on maybe some counterculture, or some cancel culture resonance or some other optics. Nobody gets to weigh in. You pitch your merit to the people with means, and they decide, and they engage with you directly. There's no overhead. We don't collect the funds. We don't make a decision. We don't evaluate your moral agenda or whatever. Okay, this is straight up undiluted meritocracy, and to me, this is what Epic community is about. This is what Epic community deserves, and this is a huge reason why people should join the Epic community, is to experience this level of immediate engagement and immediate gratification for merit. So
Well,
I'm done pitching.
Hold on 1 second. Can you see my screen here, guys? I never do video, but I wanted everybody to see this. So this is a guy, his name is Fractality. It's the front camera, so it's a little weird, but he's in Russia. And this is, I don't know which circuit breaker or circuit board this one is, but there's an Apple M1 version coming that's about twice this size, and the cost is really reasonable.
Wow.
So I think the like Etsy type individual use case for creators could be really powerful. And also stuff like this, it's like beautiful art as well. So I think these things really, I mean, they're lighthearted and fun, and maybe not everybody sees the value in them, but I think this type of stuff really punches above its weight, and we should support it however we can.
Yeah, but I'm going to take the opportunity. Thanks for the tee up, Yoga. I'm going to take the opportunity to do a little brag and really talk about this as a use case, and hopefully plant seeds for everyone out there. That
Alex rules.
But I want to show you this. So does everybody see that butterfly? That is my daughter, Alex. She's an art graduate, and this is how she makes her living. And there's a Twitter art community to where it's pretty massive. And this beautiful butterfly, that's about, if you went from tip of the wing to the tip of the wing, that's about 8 inches there. So it's significantly large, and there's a ton that goes into that. She ends up getting about $795 is what she prices those at, and they sell like crazy. Now, she has to require marketing on Twitter. There was like an algorithm, or there was an issue there that was just as like, man, I'm not getting as much traction as I used to. And so I'm sitting here, and I had a conversation with her, and I said, I have an idea, honey. I said, let me send you a logo, and I'd like you to see what you might be able to do with this. And so I didn't hear from her for about a week, and she goes, Papa. She doesn't call me, she calls me Dad, but sometimes she'll go, Papa. She goes, come on over here. I want to show you something. So I went over there, and we had prior discussions of her making a series of Epic Cash coins, which, by the way, let me tell you, you can find if you go to her Telegram. It's t.me by Alex, BYALIX, BYALIX. And the thought here is there are so many Epic Cash community members who just love this project. Let's create a series of coins of 100 coins. Thus, there's scarcity. People will always remember the Bitcoin pizza story about how much that piece of pizza would cost today. Well, look where we are with Epic Cash. So I asked Alex approximately how much money, in comparison to you doing your butterflies, would you be happy to where you would have a built-in, you could pay the bills? And she said $500. I said, okay, fine. You're going to create these. We're going to put it out there on Telegram. You're going to create your own group, and you're going to give people the opportunity to select the number. And each number is going to have on the back of it 1 of 100, 2 of 100, and so on. So literally, there's only 100 available. And I believe personally that there's going to be a day in 2 years, 3 years, where there's going to be an aftermarket for these things. And I think it's going to be ginormous. But let me just play this video, and let me stop, because I don't think I had share audio. Forgive me for that, guys. Here we go. Share screen and share sound. And here we go. Okay, guys. So this one, the first one, everyone, I told her, do everything you can to make this as perfect can be by your standards. And this first one goes to you, Max, when I see you early December.
So you just polished this. Look at how beautiful that is.
Extra shiny now.
That is extra shiny. Can you show us how you did the 1 of 100 on the back?
Oh, yeah, I can.
There you go.
So now it's
Max Freeman. This is the Genesis coin, the original, the origin coin. This is 1 of 100. That is beautiful, Alex. Good job. I can't wait. Now, how do you package it?
okay. So we're gonna have it packaged in here. It will have a sticker, the card.
And then you're going to have a
this will-
certificate of authentication.
Yes,
I can
and then
never
it's
say that name.
authentication, like father, like daughter, and then it will have its.
That's so
its
beautiful.
phone.
That is sharp. I mean, that
You
is
like
sharp.
it? It's like
Yeah.
tuxedo-ish.
And it is, it's right here.
Too.
She is.
Let's see.
That's
I'm
awesome.
gonna,
Well, good job, Alex.
Thank you.
Stop
Good luck
that.
with this.
Okay, I'll stop that. But
That is so cool. Thank you. Also, shout out to the ladies who are working on the shirts. If you've
Yes.
seen the awesome Epic shirts, we did the second batch. Most of them are gone, I think, but there's still some left. And we improved a few small aspects about the design, like the color, tweaked it a little bit. So they are just awesome. They're indestructible. You can wear them with a suit or like out to the gym. They're like this very special synthetic material. And I think if you want to buy one of those, that could be another thing that maybe down the road turns out to be relevant. Wow, you were into that thing so early. So there's 101. Reach out if you want a shirt. They're pretty sharp.
they are very sharp. They're to put a bookend on the Alex initiative is what just happened. So she was in an art community to where there's a lot of starving artists, frankly, I believe, kind of buying from each other, kind of going from one pocket to the other. Now she's over here, has created a use case that she only accepts Epic Cash for this Epic Cash coin. And there is already the float.app. Senior leadership over there want her to do a series for their float coin, and so it's going to be a little less, like 1 of 100. I mean, 1 of 50, but anywhere you can see how that could happen with each project. So with Epic Cash, we just invented a use case, but she had to wrap her mind around, but dad, I can't pay the bills with Epic Cash. So this is where, leadership, and I'm not just talking about me as a dad, but if we want to help these young people pivot into Epic Cash, where they can then get their PhD in business, really, because what she has realized is by getting that $500 denominated in Epic Cash, it's crazy how, based upon whether it's going up or down or whatever, there's the fluctuation, but she's seeing it go up. And it used to be that Alex would call me and say, "Hey, Dad, I'm really running low, paid all my bills. Can you please send me $500? And I'm a good dad. And so what do I do?" I'm like, "Okay." And I sent it to her. Do I require an IOU or her to pay me back? I've just never been that kind of dad. But now that she has Epic Cash, I can say, "Sure, Alex, let's figure out how much Epic Cash that would be." And now she can send it to me and I Zelle her the money. And it was so cute last week. She was running kind of on empty after paying her bills. And I could hear her debating with herself. Well, do I really need it? $500? No, let's do 300. She wanted to send me less Epic cash. And I thought, bingo, awesome. That is, you graduate. You finally get it. It's better to keep, if you can just struggle through it, it's better to keep your money in an appreciating asset, not that green stuff. All right. so that was fun. Gentlemen, we have 5 minutes. 5 minutes. Anybody want to have any last parting comments? I know, Max, you have a hard stop at 1 p.m.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's actually exciting. No, I can stretch it a few minutes, but what I'm going off to do is there's a holiday party at a residential building here nearby, and I have been talking with the manager. They had a fundraising logistics challenge for last year, dealing with, how do we get all the residents to fund the holiday bonus for the people. And as a result, these guys kind of got shafted. And so I was like, okay, that sucks. I live around here too. And we found a way to pass the cup and give them some quite substantial holiday bonuses in Epic directly. So we're going to see the number of wallets shoot up by 50 or so, hopefully, here soon. And I'm going to teach them. I'll come back to the mining and stuff later, but just show them, okay, your $1,200 stimulus back put into Epic. What is that, $400,000 now or something? I mean, if you're working on the type of job where money doesn't come easy and there's never enough of it, that could be the difference between life going one way for you and your family or another. And so we could be having very different conversations next Christmas. And that's my hope.
Back the bus up. You said $1,200 of stimulus invested when would be 400,000 now?
So check my math on this, Enrique, but somebody tweeted about it. So when the $1,200 stimulus came out, we were under a penny at that point, and now we're over $3 or around $3. So around 300x. So unless my math is wrong, it's about 400 grand. So I mean, depending on if you found the bottom and if you held, or if you did not staking, but market making as mining and all that stuff going on. There's a lot of people that have snowballed modest initial sums into some quite substantial numbers. Every day, or not every day, every week now, I get another Epic millionaire on the radar, and I'm like, where have you been? Welcome to the club. Can you please start, getting an oar in the water and rowing if you have that many coins? Like, come in and help. What are you doing talking to me? Go into the groups and find a way to make your stake grow. So we want to create as many wealthy people as we can, and the rising tide really does lift all boats, and it's a big enough boat for everybody. So I'm happy to do my part.
It really does. And you just triggered something in me in a good way, is that when you do get into this community and you do start acquiring Epic Cash, it seems like this community has such a high get it factor of not just sitting in there looking at their coin market cap app saying, win moon, win moon, win moon. No, it is a community where people realize, hey, I can add value. I can add value financially by buying more Epic. I can add value by mining. I can figure that out. Black Tiger, awesome. One button, one click mining, legend. You can get involved just by earning, like what Alex is doing, or Epic Fund Me. Or we have another artist that's coming on that's going to create these awesome Epic etched these candles that are going to be in basically a beer stein, or you could call it a really large, beautiful coffee cup that's going to have hand etched the Epic coin in it. But it's going to come as a candle, this beautiful, and she hand pours everything. She's just awesome talent. And so those are ways that you can earn and add value. You launch the channel, you start telling your friends. Shoot, you right now watching, you can add value to the Epic blockchain by smashing that like button, always putting a nice comment in there. But please, why don't you share a link to this show to 2 or 3 people, colleagues, family members, whatever. That helps add value because you're educating each other. And if you have a bag of epic, then a rising tide lifts all ships. So the more people adding value in their own unique way, the more all of our portfolios will rise.
Yep.
Okay.
And speaking of uniqueness, I mean, just people sharing their unique journey. How did you hear about us? What attracted you? You know, why are you in the project? You know, why is this compelling to you? Where do you see this going? Where do you see your role in this going? How do you see yourself benefiting from this? You know, because what works for somebody may not work for somebody else. And the more voices we have, the more we get heard by people. You know, some people may hear you better, Uncle. Some people may hear Max
Right.
better. Some people may hear Enrique. You know, some people may hear, Lydia, or the mother trucker. Donna the mother trucker, or it's what's cool about the community itself, and this is the thing that really excites me, is the multitude of voices. It is that. It is the fact that, look, we come from different backgrounds. We're all very different people, and yet there's this massive unifying factor that brings us together. We see a value in this. We see, for different reasons, to be a part of it, and that journey itself, the story of the journey itself, is very compelling. And I really wish to see more people sharing that in comments here, in retweets, it brings things to life. It brings things to focus.
Yeah, and I want to give a shout out always to Islo, because that guy is in the chats all the time, and he is so approachable and helpful, and he kind of keeps us on track, and especially raising our group conscience to how we can leverage social media. And it doesn't take that much to just go in and click a like and retweet and add a comment. And so really appreciate him. There are so many people that make this amazing. You have Todd Lewis, you have Monkman, who's the most amazing memer. One of them, we just have a great talent tonight. Seapork, you're going to meet Captain Pie again. Everyone really enjoyed that interview. Enrique, I understand that you're going to be launching a show to where you're going to be talking about Epic Cash in a different language. Yes, so
correct.
That is really exciting. Do you have that set up? Do you want to announce that?
I don't have a date yet.
Okay, you don't have a
But
date.
I'll let you know when I do.
That's great. That's
coming
great.
soon.
That is so exciting. So, the more we have, and Max, one of the brilliant things that your vision was that not everybody in this world speaks English. Do you want to just give us a little translation update on where we are with all those initiatives? Maybe he had a hard stop at one, so I don't know.
No.
Oh,
I
can't hear you.
I have a hard cell phone that doesn't work, so I'll get my setup better, as I always promise. But the last thing I heard was brilliant, so you have to go back to that.
I was just going to say, brilliant in your vision that not everyone in this world speaks English or reads English, and so can you give us a translation update on how that initiative is going?
Oh, yeah. So there's
a shitty mobile connection.
That one was a phone call. No, that one was a phone call. This is embarrassing. I'm sorry, everybody. The dog keeps eating my homework.
Dude, I'm bringing you a
going
microphone when I'm moving.
Incidentally, yeah. If you take care of it, then it will happen. But there's a lot of design work that has to happen. I'll get back to your question later, but I don't want to forget. I just want to do my quick.
We would love you to do it too, but you keep getting phone calls. 3, 2, 1. Max, come back.
The world doesn't want me doing shout outs. All right. I'm going to take this as a sign that I need to go set up people here with wallets, and I will fix this for next week. I promise. But shout out to Black Tiger and Sullivan, who are doing great work on the tech side. Also, David J up in Canada. Seapork is coming to see me here in Miami tomorrow.
Awesome.
Miyamoto is also a fierce
Yes.
meter or memer.
Awesome.
He's quiet. He's quiet, but very, very effective. And Tuvalu also does great graphic stuff in Romania. And then our biggest growth is actually on the ladies' side. So Shelly, Lydia, Mother Trucker, Bad Wolf, love you guys. Anything I can do to support, let me know, and we'll keep on keeping on. We're doing great.
That's excellent. That's excellent. Yeah, this has been a wonderful week. Everyone in the chat, thank you so much. We will see you again next week, same time. Sorry I missed Wednesday evening. Something came up, but that's why we punted it to Friday. So you haven't missed it. And it's going to be a blast tonight. Please, please, please come visit us. We are going to have so much fun. And I love the energy of both of those guys, and we will learn a ton. But for that, until next week, just bid everyone a good week. And look, spread the gospel according to Epic Cash, because 1225 is going to be here before you know it. So you want to acquire, you want to help others you love acquire. And if anybody needs any help on getting their wallet set up or anything, t.me/Epic Cash Help Desk. I promise you, they can get you through anything. But the time is now. I don't want to oversell. I think we presented all of the pragmatic reasons why you want to do whatever you can to be able to have as many Epic Cash in your wallet as you can for that epic ECR snapshot. And then welcome to the bank of you. So with that,